Good morning. That's better, I think. Maybe. Am I making myself better? Ooh, physician, heal thyself. Saturday, December 21st. After a long conversation with a friend of mine, I have decided to become a human. Tough one. Ooh. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, because the challenge is challenge, and I love a challenge. Challenge is, can you continue to be kind? Humankind. Everything starts with kindness. Somebody said when they watch my thing, whatever, this nomad morning chats, they've said that I'm not looking at the camera. Well, if I look at the camera, there's the camera on my computer there, then I don't see what's going on in the chat room or what's going on in my presentation. So I kind of look at the screen and it makes it look like I'm not engaging you, but I am engaging you. I'm engaged to you because you're humanity, you see. Our humanity is so important, and yet we're willing to squander it for a few plastic trinkets, apparently. Apparently, this has happened before in history. For a few beads, you can have all of Manhattan. You see? We repeat, we go round, we go up, we go down, we go left, we go right, we go red, we go blue, we go black, we go white. It doesn't really matter. We're still humanity. And as earthlings, we experience a duality. And the thing is, if we want to get closer to a singularity, closer to a human unity, we have to use this one thing that people have forgotten, and it's down there on the ground and they can just pick it up. It's everywhere. It's called kindness. And you can be kind. Okay? Many years ago, I wrote a song called Kiss Mankind. Now, it had negative connotations, but it had at the end a resolution of being kind is the only way forward. But it was back in the days when I was doing a narrative of what was going, or what I could see was going in the wrong direction for humanity, and what was going in the right direction for humanity. Much of my music contains little tiny pearls of wisdom that I stole from somebody else. Look what I stole for us, honey. Look what I stole for us. I've been influenced by so many great singer-songwriters, but I dig deep. I don't just accept that which is, propagandized at me. I think pop propaganda is everywhere, but I have to dig deep. But I get influences from great people. Sadly, a couple of years ago, I think now, it's over a year ago, we lost one of the greatest songwriters of my lifetime, which is Cathal Coughlan. Cathalcoughal. Cathal Coughlan. He was in a band called Fatima Mansions, and he was in a band called Micro Disney, but he did a lot of solo stuff. He was just an incredible songwriter and a very enigmatic man. Enigma. Yeah. I think he's iconic. Probably more so for me than David Bowie. But that's just for me. But influences, we're all influences. We're all standing on the shoulders of giants. History is us. We are in and on and of history. A friend of mine is trying to to out some of the foolish people who have put themselves at the forefront of several movements, and these tiny movements that are all kind of like devious. They have a mission to control others. I have no mission to control others. I would like to influence others by saying that kindness is more important than money and control, because kindness helps us grow. Everything else is keeping us tightly knit into a system, and that system has failed. I mean, clearly it's failed. And if you don't think that the system that controls the earth in its present realm, if you don't think there's anything at all wrong with that realm, then you're already cured and you don't need to listen to this. But if you think that there's something uniquely wrong with the way in which society is changing, then you have to change in order to make society better. That's all. I mean, that's a very simple answer, isn't it? But it's like, we are society, so we have responsibility. So change the way you influence people. Be kinder, be nicer, be loving. I mean, this is a season, in the Western world particularly, but this is the season where we should be kinder to others. And if we're not kinder to those less fortunate than ourselves, then we're not really fulfilling our role as human beings. Earthlings. We're all earthlings. I know many of my friends are, claiming interplanetary walk-in. I mean, it's fine. Claim what you will. I don't know what planet I'm from. I mean, I came out of my mother, and my mother was in England, and that just happened to be. But it's like, that moment is still that moment, and that moment when you come into this human form is unconditional love. I mean, somebody quite influential, has a larger audience of listeners than I'll ever have. She posed the question. I mean, looking for a result, obviously, but she posed the question: is there such thing as unconditional love? And more power to her. I mean, if she's trying to shake people into recognizing that she knows that she was born with that unconditional love, and she knows that when she leaves this planet, she will still have that unconditional love. And that's the one gift that we've been given, so it becomes very evident to me that that gift is squandered because we're not using it wisely. We're not being kind. We're not being kind enough. Okay, that's a pontification, and I'm saying we are and we're not. So there's me misleading people. Or am I? I'm doing it with good intention, I'll tell you that. Okay. So yes, you can see quite clearly, if you step back from the control system, you can see the people that are going, I know what's best for you. Well, if they do, then maybe you should listen. But if you know that you are your own authority and your heart is where your mind is, it's all metaphysical language, but it's like, if you know that you have an intelligent heart, then there is a point at which you recognize that there is a lot of manipulation in this world, and you have to recognize when you are being manipulated and when you're manipulating others. And we can be a tremendous influence, mostly, and I'm going to say this, mostly we're a better influence person to person, in real human, not real human interaction is where we can pass on that humanity. That's where we can work with influence on others more than this. And I mean, but this is, you know, me just going, come on, let's be kind. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people posing questions in order to get answers, and then once they've got the answer, they go to the person who gave the wrong answer, and they go, ah, ha, ha, ha. Well, you know, I've given so many wrong answers. I've made so many mistakes. All of them are glorious mistakes, a happy accident, because I don't intend to go out there and hurt anybody. I just don't. I don't go out there to intending to control anybody, but I do go out with the intention of influencing everybody. And my influence should be keep a sense of humor, be kind, be loving, and above all else, look after you so as you can look after everybody else. That's just a simple message. And, you know, it's sad to watch society going down going down the drain, society as a whole going down the drain, going, well, they told us that we could do that. It's like, you're not fucking lemmings. You're humans. Be humankind. Sure, there's people that you just don't want to associate with. That's fine. Disassociation can be distance, and you can socially distance in your mind, not social distance bullshit that they went through over this fucking stupid shit that went on before. But that idea that you can distance yourself from those that are like just messing up your life. If they're messing up your life, put them back, put them further away from you. And even in a lot of cases, I mean, completely disassociate with these people, because if they've got a personality type that is only going to serve themselves by abusing you, then you got to get out of that abusive relationship. It's an abusive relationship. Now, I've been in many abusive relationships with friends, and it's like, it takes me a while, because I really do keep giving them second chance, third chance, fourth chance, fifth chance. I keep giving them chances because I see the goodness in their humanity. And maybe it's just that I'm on this timeline, my own, and they're on their timeline, their own, and they're not quite getting there. But if they're hurting me on my timeline by me helping them, then I have to disassociate. I have to go, okay, distance. And, you know, that happens once in a while, not often. I'm going through it right now with somebody I tried to help for over a year, and they've done nothing but hurt me and others associated with me. They've hurt my circle of friends. I mean, it's like, you can't keep associating with people who completely and utterly disapprove of you if what you're doing is coming from an intention of kindness. I mean, if you're really coming from that place, that unconditional love, then they're just seeing your power and usurping that power. They're drawing off your power in order to manipulate, and they'll manipulate your circle of friends. They'll do things to harm you because they want to be in control, and they want to be in control of you, even though they know that all they have is influence. They still want to, and I'm saying bullies. I recognize a bully. When I was a very small child, and I was quite small for my age when I was about 9 or 10. No, I'd have to have been 11 years old, because I was in senior school, you know. So I was 11 years old, and I was very small for my age, and there was a lot of physical fighting going on in school, especially the boys. They're just assholes. Anyway, there was a lot of fighting going on. I was being picked on because I was small. So my first job in senior school was to try and find the biggest bully, in the school. Usually, somebody who was 15, not left school yet, and a big guy and somebody who threw their weight around. And then I would endear myself to them in order to gain protection from the other bullies. And the thing is, the big physical bully was just a bull. It's just a bull. He was mindless, right? So that was easy. Give him a few cigarettes you'd nicked off your mum. So to befriend him was to give me protection against the real bullies. And the real bullies in school, teachers, mostly teachers. But there were other bullies too. I mean, I went to a particularly rough school. We had segregated sexes and different gates to go in. I mean, I left school when I was 11. I mean, well, I did attend school until I was 15 on occasions, but only enough to stop the authorities from threatening my parents. But I was skipping school from 11 years old because they couldn't teach me anything there. I mean, apart from self-protection, which was also quite ugly. I didn't like the idea of what I had to do, but I had to do it. It's like being in prison. You don't go into prison and go, if you're small and you can't fight, you don't go in and say, right, come on, then you lot. And that's what it was like. School was like prison for me when I was small. It shouldn't be, but it was. And the bullies, teachers first, absolutely, from teachers down. I mean, they were awful. I had one good teacher, and he was a technical drawing teacher, and he could see that I had potential, and he was quite kind. But then I had doubts about him too, because why was he there? What was he doing? I mean, if he was, I don't know. I mean, so anyway, that was a big meander and a good chat. And I didn't mean to go into my personal history, but I did a little. And now I'm over that and I'm where we are today. I mean, somebody was, okay, here's something that cropped up in the week. Somebody was having a go at these new people who are calling themselves futurists when they're nothing but technocratic control freaks. And the new futurists are like that. Now, some of the older futurists that were philosophical, who comes to mind mostly for me? Buckminster Fuller. Kind of got roped into being part of a movement of futurists, but he had great ideas in philosophical ideas for humanity. But these modern new people who are calling themselves the futurists, they're just technocratic control freaks. They own stock or they own companies that are pushing for a robotic future, a non-organic future, which I mean is ridiculous. We live on an organic planet. I mean, I just these worshippers of Elon Musk. Musk is a smell, right? And it's a not very nice smell. It's musky. Be aware. Let your senses look at that and go, well, if he's a billionaire and he wants to help the world, why doesn't he feed the poor? Because he doesn't fucking care. To be honest, I mean, lots of these billionaires that are now forming governments and World Economic Forum and all that stuff, do they fucking care? If they really, really cared, they would be wiping out world hunger. People should not be without food, shelter, healthcare, or education in this modern world. We should not be without those things. Those things can be, and for me, obviously, because I'm a dyed in the wool pacifist, it's like no more war. I mean, that's where we can take, if you're going to go into an economic situation, you can shave off 1% of the world's um, defense budget and put it into food, shelter, healthcare, education, and give it to everybody as a birthright. You could do that, Elon. You could do that, Bill Gates. You could do that, Jeff Bezos. You could do that if you had the intention of not controlling others but helping others, of influencing others. You can change the world. And it's not just the money thing. The money thing is just an irrelevance. This is where it starts. In you is this unconditional love that exists. You just have to bring it to the fore. Kindness changes everything. Kindness helps things grow. Find the light, vibrate higher, be kind, go out this year, this millennium, this epoch, and change it. This realm is a fluctuation, and we can influence it. And it's raising ourselves to a level of understanding that we're as powerful as anybody else. We as human beings individually are as powerful as the next human being, and we just got to use our influence wisely. Love each other. Okay, I'm going to give away all my music on Bandcamp. I think I'm going through gradually because I've been on Bandcamp for a very long time with my music. Pretty much all of my music can be downloaded for free from Bandcamp. I mean, you can pay a little if you want. You don't have to, but if you do pay, I will spend the money, and I'll be grateful. There you are. You got some honesty there. If you do pay me, then I will spend the money, because that's how we're going to run the world, by having money be a token. Then that token needs to be passed around. You see, you can't have it stagnate. Billionaires sat on billions of dollars. You can't have that. It's got to circulate. Oh, Nigel's economics. All right. Love you. Be kind and be generous with your heart this year, forever. I mean, that's it. I gotta go. All right. Happy Saturday, my loves. And it's the winter solstice. It was a pretty good message for winter solstice. I love you. You love me. We're a happy family. With a packet of crisps. Where's the end stream? Oh, there you are. Love you. Happy holidays.